Welcome to our first monthly roundup video. That's right, we have been on the road for 1 month in Bebe. That is this big blue truck behind me, our adventure truck, our home on wheels. And we are going to tell you all about what this first month has held for us. We're going to tell you where we've been, how many countries we've visited, how many kilometers we've driven, what our absolute highlights have been. We're going to tell you about Bebe's MPG, because everybody seems to want to know how many miles to the gallon we get from that ex-military vehicle, the MAN HX60. So we'll tell you all about that, what fuel we've used, how many fill-ups we've done, how many litres of fuel we've put in, what we've still got left, and therefore what the MPG calculation is. So stay tuned, hit the like button, give us a thumbs up. Down below here somewhere there will be a subscribe button. It really helps us if you hit that subscribe button too, and it means that you don't miss any of our updates as we travel. So let's get to it. Okay, so where have we been this month, this first month of travelling? Well, obviously we started in the UK. We visited 3 countries, if we can count the UK. It's a sort of a cheat, I know. So we've done the UK, we crossed into France with the Channel Tunnel, and that was fun, getting Bebe on the Channel Tunnel. She does fit. And then we crossed the French-Spanish border up north into Spain. Right now, we're all the way down south of Spain, not right down at the very bottom, but we're working our way along that southern coast.
So here we are with the highlights from the first month of our adventure. The biggest achievement I think that we had this month was getting Otis's EU pet passport sorted. We did that relatively early in the trip, which was a huge relief, as we were quite concerned about how stressful it was going to be and how complicated it might be to get it done. And it actually wasn't. It wasn't so bad as we'd anticipated, as you know, many things can be in life. I'd say the best park up that we've had this month was hands down the off-road park up in San Blas Reservoir, or not in it, but next to it. We had a lovely little evening and a day exploring there. Beautiful gorge that you can walk down through, all really easy with kids, and was just a lovely way to kind of kick off our adventures around that area. Whilst we were there, we did a little bit of research about potential spots that we could go to explore in the following days, and we found one. It was an off-road spot, and it was one that had been previously explored by another HX, so we knew Bebe could do it. So yeah, we headed off there the following morning, and it was a great opportunity to get Bebe's wheels off tarmac for the first time, and she didn't disappoint, handled it like an absolute pro. I might have closed my eyes a few times when we were going down. I wasn't driving at that point. But yeah, no, we were absolutely rewarded with a stunning little spot overlooking the reservoir. And then, as we've said before, we want to give you not only the highs, but also some of the lows or some of the challenges that we face, because they happen, right? That's life. One of the most frustrating things for me this month, and probably the most expensive for us, was that I managed to break the DJI Osmo camera. Yeah, had a lovely lunch in Denia, picked up the camera, and somehow managed to drop it on its head and completely crush the gimbal. So yeah, not great. Possibly one of the most expensive lunches we've had in a long time. And while we're talking about some of the, rubbish stuff or scariest, definitely for me, it was a moment when we were driving along the French highway, and as I said in video number 1, I think it was, Bebe decides to throw an absolute corker of a tantrum and spit an error code out at me. It's a little bit scary, as I never had it happen to me when I was actually driving, and I wasn't sure what was wrong. But we, slowed down, managed to pull her off the motorway into a safe stop, and as you'll see in video number 1, we just let her sort herself out. So the best place or places that we visited this month, that's a tough one because there's actually two and we just can't decide between them, either of them. So we're going to do both. First one was Dinia Castle and the tunnels. Great little place to explore. I think it is about €12 per adult, or maybe actually it was for both of us, I can't remember, to get into. And it's free for children. Oh, sorry, free for under 4s. So Isla snuck in, which is always good. And the second one was the Roman amphitheatre in Cartagena. We spent about a day in the end exploring around there, and also some of the museums that go with it. Yeah, thoroughly recommend having a little mooch around there as well. So I think the most fun thing that we did this month was bombing around the bikes, with Otis in a place called Siete Aguas. Parked up there for a couple of days and just took the opportunity just to relax and just really explore. Headed off on a bike ride around probably about 100 k's worth of tracks, and more than that actually, up around the surrounding areas. So yeah, that was a huge amount of fun for all of us, and just a really nice chance to stretch our legs after doing quite a considerable amount of driving over the last week or two. So that was month number 1, and we are super excited to see what month number 2 is going to bring. Hopefully no more breakages, that would be fantastic, and no more scary moments, please. And yeah, just lots more sunshine and yummy ice creams would be great.
We have driven 3,382 kilometres this month since we left home base back in the UK. We've had 8 fuel stops. Now, we have not filled up with fuel at every one of those fuel stops. Sometimes we've just done a little bit just to get us on a little bit because maybe it was a bit more expensive. Total fuel that we've put in is 1,311 litres, which sounds like a huge amount. However, we still have 386 litres in the tank right now as she sits here, which means we've used 925 litres to cover those 3,382 kilometres. Anyone wants to do the maths on that, it's going to give them about 27 and a bit litres per 100 kilometres, which works out to just a little over 10.3, almost 10.4 miles to the gallon. So there's your answer for the first month of travelling, 10.4 miles to the gallon. Now what I've got to say is that doesn't include, or at least it does include, using diesel for our diesel heater. So for the first couple of weeks we were running the diesel heater because where we were was pretty chilly, and we were pulling diesel from the main tank, so using some of our diesel just to keep Bebe warm inside. So we could probably say actually it's more like 10.5 to the gallon would be a fair assumption. Now, we've only done a little bit of off-road. A lot of it has been smooth on-road, nice, easy, smooth journeys. Obviously, there's been ups and downs in terms of hills, but we'll see how this compares next month when we get into some more off-roady stuff. We spend a bit more time on rough roads, off-roads, four-wheel drive engaged, etc., etc. And we'll see what happens to fuel consumption next month. Obviously, we've been in and out of Bebe for the last 2 years. We travelled in a van before that, but we've done now a month on the road through France and Spain. And in all of that time, in all of that experience, we have come up with some tips for van life or truck life. And there are 3 top tips, 3 I'm not going to say golden rules, but 3 really strong bits of advice that we'd suggest you follow. Number 1, whenever you see cheap diesel, fill her up. Because you never know when you're going to find the next fuel station. It doesn't matter if you're still at 80%. If you get to cheap diesel, just top her up. Now, the reasoning for this is pretty simple. If you're filling up a car that has a 50-litre tank and you pay 10p a litre more on your 50 litres, so 50 litres, 10p, your difference is, what, £5, £5, which is, you know, it's a bit of a all in the pocket, but it's not the end of the world. Our fuel split that we've seen just in this month is 50p. The difference at 50p a litre in filling up Bebe's 450 litre tank is £220. £220 extra just because you're at a more expensive fuel station. That's why we say, if you see cheap fuel, get her full. Our second top tip for van life or truck life is, if there is somewhere with free water, fill it up. Particularly in southern Spain, they're having a bit of a drought right now. We're only early in the year, but there seems to be a distinct lack of water. A lot of places are turned off, or they've been shut down, or water's not available. So if you see water anywhere, fill up. And number 3, our number 3 tip for van life or truck life is, if there is free electric hookup available, use that too. Why not? Why would you not use it? We have a washing machine tumble dryer on board. Obviously we've got the oven, microwave, grill, we've got induction hob. So anytime we are paying to park somewhere, if there is hookup included, we're going to use it. Do we need it? Probably not. Definitely not, because we've got a backup generator. But you may as well use it if you're paying for it. So tip number 1, if you see cheap diesel, top up your tank. Tip number 2, if you see cheap water or free water, top up your tank. Tip number 3, if there is electric hookup available, get yourself plugged in, charge up your batteries, use more power than you need to, just get yourself going. The other good thing about charging up whenever you've got hookup available is that, particularly if you've got lithium-ion batteries, if you don't get them full, then gradually they'll start reporting lower. So you won't be able to see them. They'll go effectively what they call out of balance. You need to then give them a really good long charge up to 100%. They need to sit at 100% for quite a while to get themselves rebalanced and make sure all the cells are in alignment. So it's another good reason for getting yourself plugged in at EHU whenever you see the opportunity. Hit that subscribe button, give us a like, stay tuned. Look out for our future video updates as we post them. We're posting every Sunday, and if you're really lucky, some shorts during the week as well. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to fire up in the comments. Let us know, 1, what you want to know, 2, what you want to see. Because the more we know what you're looking for, the more we can try and fulfill that. So fire up in the comments, and we look forward to speaking to you again in a week's time. Bye for now.